and welcome back to When the Past Was Around. I don't actually know how far into the game I am. I would have to defer to Kitty for that. My daughter is here as well, streaming with us. You probably watched, if you're here, you would have definitely watched the first 2 videos. And so what we are going to do now is we're going to advance the game, but then we are going to talk about, we spoke about in the last video, kind of what grief isn't and what everybody thinks grief is. So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn our attention to more modern theories of grief, and they are few and far between. So looking at theories of typical bereavement and what grief actually looks like for a typical individual, other than knowing that typically grief is... Sorry, I accidentally turned on Twitch on my phone for a second there. Other than the fact that we know that the typical grief response is actually resiliency more than a pathological response. So, for example, when we look at rates of pathological versus non-pathological responses to grief, only about 10 to 20% of individuals will go on to develop significant signs of prolonged grief disorder, which is what used to be called complicated bereavement, or basically needing therapy for your grief response, for your grieving. For everyone else, we don't see that level of significant distress or impairment in response to grief and grieving. We see that receiving support from friends and family and community is what is needed, rather than receiving therapy and quote-unquote working through your grief on a professional level, or even having to kind of formally or intentionally try to work through your grief. Instead, people tend to naturally know what they are doing as they work through grief on their own, right? And I use that phrase, work through, but really, it's your mind is going to do it naturally. And we're going to talk about some of the neurocognitive mechanisms. So what we're doing on a cognitive level in terms of our thought processes, but also what's happening on a neurological level when we see typical bereavement, which is anywhere from 80 to 90% of the population are experiencing this more typical grief response. And yes, we can see an acute response, and we can see individuals who are experiencing more extreme grief responses than others, because human experience is a continuum like that. But for the vast majority, going into grief work, grief therapy, is not necessary, and as I mentioned in the previous video, can actually create more difficulty because you're trying to make your emotions fit a model that it doesn't actually need to fit. But before we do that, let's advance the game so that we can talk about the grief response that we're seeing between Etta and Owl. And we seem to be looking in Etta's memories during this time period and seeing a pretty typical functioning of neurocognitive functioning, right? And functioning of the brain as we work together and as we spend time together. But Owl has just grabbed their head, and so I find myself wondering if Owl has a headache. Possibly a little bit of projection there. Let's have a fire and use pinwheels and look at the constellations. Okay, that seems like a reasonable thing to do. That sounds like an awful lot of fun. And so what we are going to do now, we want to cut paper into squares and then use them to make pinwheels. I've got a square of paper. Can we go back? So we've got a square, and it wants us to fold the square. It's not letting me fold the square. $115, $130. Hey. Jumping by 15 off. Jumping by 15-minute intervals. But that's not what I'm trying to do. Oh, I need scissors. It wants me to use scissors, I think. Thanks. I know, you seem very disappointed in me. Alright, what's that constellation look like? A bullhead, so...
You need to find that constellation.
I'm looking for it, thank you. Do I have to line these circles up with this? Do I have to line
the wrong constellation. the wrong constellation.
Could you chill? Seriously, my
No.
kid has no chill. Zero chill whatsoever. For real.
Ow. Ah. Ow. Ah. Ow.
Because the fact of the matter is that this is a different constellation than the one that he was thinking about.
It is in fact a different constellation. They want 2 constellations.
Well, there's that one. There's the bird. And here's the bull. Right? Like, this lines up with the bird. Bird, bird, bird. Bird is the word. Were you laughing
Okay,
at me
that's
so
painful.
hard that you fell off your bed? Is that what you just said to me?
Yeah.
Needs a lens. Okay. That's great. I love it. $115, $130, etc. Okay. Okay. So clicking on these seems to do nothing. 115, 130, 145. That's not... Okay, I see. Okay. Wait. 5, 10, 15. Wait a minute. I gotta go back to the clue. I might be Well, that's fun. Make it dance.
Yes, you can make the backpack dance. Good job.
Yeah, 115, 130, 115, 130, so 145, 2 o'clock equals question mark. So like, but it doesn't make sense for this to be 2 o'clock given the other clocks over here. Because this...
Can't you change those?
No. I've tried clicking on these and I can't change those.
Oh, right. I'm remembering something wrong. My bad.
8, 7. Wait, this is 6. This is 5. Maybe this wants me to go backwards? I don't know how I did that. I got the right answer.
Good job.
Aw, it's an Etta sandwich.
Wait, they're eating Etta?
Yeah, apparently. Listen, I don't know how many times I have to tell you, but we don't eat people.
I'm not the one eating people this time.
That's
Tell
a
that to-
rule. I was telling it to them.
Don't.
All right, so let's talk about those neurocognitive mechanisms that might be misfiring here because they're eating people. Let's just set that on fire while we can. Yay! Can I take
You
off
completed
that?
one task.
I know, I was seeing if I could take off the, I I've completed 2 tasks. I've got the bird.
No, you didn't complete that task.
Oh, right, because I need to do the other one, too. Is there a lens over here? It lets me go back, which makes me wonder if there's a lens over here somewhere that I can now grab.
I'm just gonna wait for the realization to click in.
Okay, you can do that all you want. I'm gonna go back and make the pinwheel, since I know how to do that. Alright. Cut. Hey. Okay. Cut them 4 times, then fold. Now I need a push pin, which I lack, and a stick, which I lack. Okay. Push pin and stick. Got it. Hey, a camera. Thank you for your lens. Thank you for your service. Now I can find the constellation that I was looking for to begin with, which is an owl. And I can go find a stick. Thank you.
Push.
Well, I found the stick where I want to put it. Can I pick it up? Let me pick it up. No. I guess if I had a push pin, it would let me do it. Okay, let's look around for a push pin. Oh wait, do I know? Do I have a push pin in our house? You're just gonna die inside? You can do that. While you die inside, let's talk about sort of our neurocognitive processes in general. So those 2, I don't know why this is relevant yet, other than maybe it's just fluff. Do I have a push pin on our house?
That's not just fluff.
It is not just fluff? Okay, cool. Do I have any push pins here? Nope. Sorry, I had to try, because it just followed the My Dearest. Because see, this has the same basic pattern as My Dearest.
It does. And
it does, doesn't it? It does, doesn't it?
I'm not gonna
And so what I need is something that that gives me a clue about what letters I want to do in which order.
You already have the clue.
Okay, well, I need to remember the clue. How about that?
It's... I can't talk, don't speak.
That's spelled Edda.
Again, just gonna wait for the realization to click in. Okay, this is painful. Please go back to the original sticks.
Oh, I like this being painful for you, though. Alright, so let's talk about System 1 and System 2. System 1 is the... the system that... Or System... System 2 is the system... Really? Really now? 1, 2... Both of these only have 2 dots. That's really tiny.
Don't murder anybody. Don't murder anybody. Don't murder anybody. Don't murder anybody.
Some of them have dots on them. That's the answer to your question. And lines.
No, it's not. You're getting closer.
Hold on. I need to do a thing.
What are you doing?
My eyes are hurting. I am putting it on full screen momentarily.
It's strange for me, but okay.
Yeah, see, this looks like the number 2. That's why I had trouble reading it to begin with, is that it looks like the number 2. That's literally the only one that looks like a number. But see, now I can't see Twitch chat, so your job is to tell me if anybody comes into Twitch chat.
Nobody's saying anything.
Yeah, it's possible nobody's here, and that's fine. I'm gonna click the number 2.
There are 3 people watching.
Cool. Hi, 3 people who are watching. I hope everything is going well in your life. Right now, it is the kids' job to keep track of chat. And they are dying inside.
The game looked wonky from the way it looks now. The game, it looks incorrect while it's full screen.
Okay. There we go. Is that better? Red Fighter? Did it go back to being good? What that means is that I can't see the numbers as well. And so, other than this looking like the number 2...
You're on the completely wrong track.
I'm on the completely wrong track?
Mm-hmm. And it's honestly painful.
Is this a matter of pushing things in the right order, or just pushing the correct ones?
Correct ones.
Cool. What I can do is, this one has dots, that is a dot, that has a line, that has a line. Are they not staying pressed? Which other one had
You're missing some.
This one? No. Hold on.
No.
It's not the correct order though, right?
The order doesn't matter, it just has to be the right ones.
Again, with the... I almost think I need to, like, take a picture of this and blow it up. So yeah, while we're talking about this, the area of the brain, or the system that's being engaged right now, is system 2. This is the controlled processing system, right? This is the system that's involved in problem solving and reasoning. And when we think of problem solving and reasoning, we should always be thinking of a few reasons. And the first of them is the prefrontal cortex. Specifically in a case like this where we're doing puzzles, we're talking about the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, which is an area of the brain that really goes through these types of problems and puzzles and works through them. Oh wait, this one's a dot. That one's not a dot. That one is just a funky looking S. And so it would be involved in this type of problem solving. Alright. This one has a line, that one has a line. Again, I think my kid's head's gonna explode because I'm on the wrong track. See, like, I wish it was just the letters in
I can't sit
in EDA. That would be nice. You can't what?
You're on the right track. You're on the right track.
Like,
You're
I'm
on
right
the right
now,
track,
these are
but-
clicked that these are the ones that are underlined. And then this one has dots on top of it, and that one has dots on top of it. And then this one has a triangle on top of
I
it.
didn't mean to send that in stream chat.
My East.
I did not mean to send that in stream chat.
Hey, why would you do that?
I didn't mean to send that. I didn't mean to send it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was writing it down for me. I didn't mean
Who
to send
said
it.
my
I'm sorry.
East? Like, why would my East...
I'm
Wait, no,
sorry,
I've
that wasn't
clicked
supposed
these.
to send.
I've clicked my East. This is
This-
M-Y-E-A-S-T. There's one more E. That's the period for my East. But yeah, this is my... What if I do the ones that aren't part of my East? Nope. But yeah, if you've put my East as the answer, M-Y-E-A-S-T. That is my East. So I don't know what you're trying to.
Wait, I thought it was my East. I'm now confused. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm confused now.
See? It's not just my fault. So there's got to be another clue other than this. Right? Is there another clue outside of this?
If I'm remembering correctly, no, I could be not braining.
You could be not braining.
Yeah, it's always a possibility. There's a 50% chance my brain is working on a given day.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. You want to do a pinwheel? Can we look at the fire? No, we cannot. This is... Ah! Wait a minute. The E has... I think
that's
it's
fine.
Edda with a period. I honestly think that I just forgot to put the period in for Edda.
See, my brain wasn't braining, okay? I did this yesterday, so my brain's already disappeared.
Yeah, well see, but I was doing that and you were telling me, no, you're wrong. Let's be clear here. That I was doing that and you started laughing
my
at
brain
me.
was incorrect.
And that you laughing
No,
at
I
me...
started dying.
You started dying. That's true. And that you dying would have been a clue to that prefrontal cortex. It would have been a social clue, and we get those social cues in that area. Now, do I put this on here? Yeah. And then can I pick it up? Yeah. In that area. Now, there are other ways that we can solve problems. Most especially if we have, oh, look at that, how pretty the flower went through. Most especially if we have this sort of like aha moment. And those aha moments, the sort of insight-based problem solving, happen in our medial temporal lobe. So there's an interaction between those two areas when we're solving problems and we're, hello gamer bear, when we're solving problems and we are, oh, let me try to read this. That might be the music. It went by too fast. So yeah, so that type of insight-based problem solving happens in the medial temporal, but the vast majority of our problem solving is going to happen in the prefrontal cortex. Now, when looking at neurocognitive functioning in general, you see a kind of back and forth between the medial temporal lobe, which is involved in more explicit systems, right? It's a system 2 type area involved in some executive functioning and planning and processing.
Mom, shut up.
Hey.
Shut up.
Oh, look, it is our violin, and he's playing the flute. Oh my gosh.
This is why I tell you to shut up.
By the way, very predictive of whether or not somebody will experience complicated bereavement or have a kind of a high-risk bereavement is being young, having an unexpected death, especially of someone who dies of what should have been a routine illness. So it would be unsurprising if she's having difficulty with the death of a loved one as a result. But let's talk about what it would look like. So typically, before a loss, just your average everyday person has a balance between that medial prefrontal, oh, we lit that, that medial prefrontal lobe that is engaging in, this one's not for fire, that is engaging in these problem-solving processes, and another area of the brain that is System 1. So remember, System 2 are those controlled processes, but then we have System 1, and System 1 is active in, hey, come on, among other places, the basal ganglia is what's important in this case. And the basal ganglia is kind of our system of implicit behaviors. Oh, I'm going to get yelled at if I don't listen to the music. Are we going to go to the doctor? Can we? I need my medicine. Okay. I will get you your medicine. So whereas complex planning and conscious planning all happen in the... Oh, it's dirty. Let's go wash that. Are happening in the prefrontal cortex, this sort of... I have to open it first. And turn it on.
Yeah, that's how things work. You have to.
Of course, it's
open
brokey.
them.
And I need laundry detergent, of course. Do I keep laundry detergent? Oh, look at the pretty butterfly. TGVTUS. No, I want the laundry detergent. I add the water? Really? That's not how laundry works. Okay. Get a bucket. Let's go get some water.
There's a water spout.
I get it. I was just curious about what that was, that's all. Another butterfly. That's so pretty. Look at all the butterflies. In any case, so the basal ganglia is involved in our implicit systems, and these are things like our routines. The things that we do, yes, t-shirt, wash. The things that we do without actually having to think about them. So things like procedural memory, our ability to ride a bike, these are all things that are done in that System 1 basal ganglia type area. And it turns out that it's somewhat in competition. Can I dry this?
No.
I'm just going to give it to him wet.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. It's soaking wet. Have at it. I can't even hang it out to dry. I've hung everything else out to dry. But you have to take that wet. take care of the owl, then the butterflies, then the broom, then the birds. Okay, so get the broom next. 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. Close that. It's 4 numbers, so that's not going to help me. These are 4 shapes, so... One, 6, 3, 4. Sorry, I'm looking closely at these numbers. Okay, apparently flipping them over in the correct order was not the way to go. Hi.
You can flip them back.
I know I can, but now I have to look at the music, so it's this.
That's 6.
I have to flip them back in the right order.
No,
So,
you don't. It doesn't matter. That I'm not gonna speak. I'm gonna let.
1, 2, 3, 4. Dang it, I did it in the wrong order. So yes, you said I can flip them back. So
it doesn't matter what order.
1, 5, 3, 2, 3.
That's just a. No. No.
No. Am I hurting you again?
Yes.
It's fantastic. I love it. I live for it. It's retribution for childbirth. Deal with it.
You asked for the childbirth. It is not my fault that I was born.
No.
It's your fault that you had me. It's not my fault that I was born.
Are you saying
I
you're
didn't
not
ask.
glad?
Oh no, I never said that. I just said I didn't ask. I did come to you as, I don't know, a sperm or something. I was like, Mother, may I please be born?
So all I was
That's
trying
literally
to do was put them back in numerical order, since there are numbers on them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes, numbers are numbers, and numbers number.
Like, this is the repeat. This is the start, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's do. Like, I need it to show me the music again. Does it expect that I remember it? That I remember the sheet music?
Precisely.
Now, I do actually remember the sheet music. And the sheet music starts with the key signature. It ends with the repeat. It begins with this and it ends with the repeat, which is why it makes it look like the numbers are relevant, because 1, 6, right? Like, it begins with this, it ends with the repeat. So it makes sense that it would be... Oh, wait. I've been... Yeah, see, that doesn't work.
You're worrying so much about flipping these cards.
What?
You're worrying so much about flipping the cards. Why do you care so much about flipping the cards?
1, 3, 4, 5, 2. Why do I care about flipping the cards? Because it seems like the right thing to do, and I need a numerical code. And that's a 4-digit code, and this is a 5-digit code. So, that was why. You wanted an answer. There's one butterfly. So yeah, and I need to find this medicine. So that's why. Because bro needs his medicine. And the only thing I've got is this TGVTUS with 15323 under it. I've got a 4-digit combination. And a 5-digit set of numbers. So unless there's something else I can click that I'm not clicking, that you want to tell me about? Is there a dead plant? Because I still have the bucket. Let's dump water in things. Can I dump water on anything? I can't seem to dump water on anything. Oops. I clicked out again. Oh. Turn off the radio tape. The sound of silence. I don't want that. It's got the music right here. But
I'm gonna.
That's 4.
I'm trying to let you figure. I'm trying to let you figure this one out.
4.
But
5, 5, 3. Let's try that. You're trying to let me figure this out?
It's paining me very much.
And this is the one I'm not sure of. So I'm just gonna click through all of that. Because this is 4. Like, this is number 4 over here. If I'm looking at the music, that's the 4th one. This is the 5th one. Right? Hey, stop that. Number 5 is that. Number 3 is the half note. So, like, if I turn off the music, there it goes. It's gone. But if I turn back the music on, there they are. So that seems to me that we would ignore 1 and 6 entirely. Am I not on the right track with looking at these music notes now? What's that?
I want to let you be, because I'm kind of curious how fast you're gonna get this.
You're kind of curious if I'm gonna figure this out?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious if you can figure this one out on your own without Googling anything. So this is the first time you've asked for a hint, which, yeah, I'm needed.
Needed, or it just sounds good too. So while I'm looking through this is actually a great time to talk about these systems and how they play a role in grief. So I think I had just finished talking about how the normal executive control is kind of a balance between these two systems, and is designed to allow you to do some things completely on autopilot while needing to use other systems, and not needing to, but also using other systems in needing to use other systems for these types of problem-solving tasks. And so, square, circle, triangle, square, or circle, square. What's that? So using those types of skills in these types of tasks. And the way that they balance those systems is through the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, which makes sense because that's the one that is involved in problem solving. It helps to kind of control your day-to-day life function, and it helps to control what you kind of focus on, its behavioral inhibition, its behavioral activation, and all of that. Okay. These 5 birds in the background are messing with me. And so that's all sort of during typical life function. But then what happens if you experience a loss? And what happens when you experience a loss is these two systems that are kind of in competition with each other, but that are mediated, that are sort of controlled through and balanced through the prefrontal cortex. What tends to happen is you see an imbalance happen. And this is where that idea of kind of that grief fog that you see immediately following. This is sort of in the acute phase immediately following grief. And you see that the second system, the one that is mediated by the basal ganglia, the one that is automatic in nature and is associated with procedural memories, it's associated with habits in a way that you want it to be. Beat up the mattress. In a way that you want it to be, right? Like you want the system to be doing this. That, I thought I saw a thing I could click over here. Here, dump this on his head. That it kicks in. It goes into overdrive. And so this grief fog that you see people sometimes describe themselves as kind of going through the motions, is one way that people describe it. Okay, there is one owl. There are, let me count the butterflies. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8 butterflies. Let's put that in. 1 owl, 8 butterflies, 1 broom. And with that in overdrive, you start to see that the medial prefrontal cortex and mostly the medial temporal lobe they're being suppressed and they're not doing their jobs. And again, this is that feeling of being not, did I miscount something? Owl. There is definitely 1 owl. Is that we start to see that going through the motions and just doing things that are habitual rather than doing things, anything new. You see that difficulty problem solving, and that can manifest itself as difficulty doing things like planning for a funeral. Or after that period, right after the period of funeral, you might see it as difficulty planning your day or difficulty focusing at work and those sorts of things. And oh, there's 9 of them. There we go. Get his medicine.
Yeah, you did it. Finally.
I did do it.
I've been waiting.
Was it
I've been
hurting
waiting
you?
so patiently.
I'm so sorry it was hurting you. Here, have some medicine. I hope the medicine makes you feel better, but if it's a pill, it's going to take a while. Or not. You're just going to go right back to...
He's an owl. Medicine doesn't work the same.
That's fair. And so you see that basal ganglia going into overdrive, and it's what you want it to do, right? You can think of this as something bad, but let's talk about what the basal ganglia's job is, right? But first, if I talk through this music, I'm gonna be in trouble. And now I'm here by myself. They're gone. Where have they gone? Well, apparently they've gone through this door. So let's take wing. I don't know what you mean by wing, Red Fighter. Oh. Why are we angry with them? Are we angry because they're not taking their medicine? Have they been forgetting their medicine? I mean, we've got their medicine. Please take your medicine. But you also want some flowers. Okay. Let's look around and see about the flowers. We've got musical locks. Okay. That's where the music comes into play, huh?
Yep.
1,
This is why I've been suffering
6. I need to go back and look at the... I didn't memorize the numbers anymore. I scrubbed them from my mind. So that basal ganglia, it's not just involved in having us do things habitually, but also with the formation of new habits. And so one of the reasons why that's so important is that it allows us to go into kind of... Oh, it resets every time. So it's going to expect that I remember. Okay, I need to go back and actually remember. And one of the things that's very important following a loss is to be able to create those new memories. Okay, hold on, I have to remember this. Quarter note, half note, 16th, 8th. Quarter note, half note, 16th, 8th. Quarter note, half note, 16th, 8th. Of course we would have a musical lock. There we go. Ah, and so we have seeds that we have to water. I need dirt. Ah, there's already dirt. Seeds that we can water. That will grow into the flowers you want. I can buy myself flowers. Or I could just water them for you. I wonder why I can look at the dirt. Like, could I plant the seeds there instead? I wonder what would have happened if I tried. I don't have the seeds anymore, so I can't try. Oh well. I won't leave you. I won't leave you here. Have flowers and your medicine. Are the flowers like a homeopathic remedy? Oh no, we're just putting the flowers on our head. Oh, that's so sweet to put the flowers on the head. So yeah, so one of the things that we need to do in the immediate aftermath of a loss is we have to engage in a set of processes, and one of the newer models of grief is called the dual process model by Strobe and Schutt. It's from 2010. And there are relatively few models. Oh, this music is so beautiful, though. There are relatively few models that look at uncomplicated or typical grief processes. So this is one of the ones that tries to bring everything together that it can. I find this sounds so much like you're breaking the violin and that's what advances the scene. It's very emotionally painful to have that be what advances the scene, which I think is very well done on the part of the game. I wonder if I make sure that there's always one bubble on the screen, if it will just never advance. Nope, guess not. It's going to advance whether I want it to or not. Good to know. And my owl is shedding feathers, so that's why I've been getting the feathers, is that my owl is shedding feathers, which is not good for my owl, because that's a sign of illness, and of course we know that my owl is ill. I'm looking around for my owl. They've probably gone that way, but I'm also checking to see if there's anything else that I can grab. This brings us back inside, right? Oh, nope, guess not. This is the new place. I meant to go to the old place. And instead we're going to follow the music. So let's follow that music. This dual process model suggests that there are two separate things that we have to do post-loss. Because loss is a stressor, right? And so that there are both... Ouch! Oh dear. Oh dear, what is about to happen? Oh my. We have both direct loss-related stressors that are associated just with that person no longer being there, and then we have restoration-oriented stressors, and these are the sorts that have to do with kind of why would I be hanging the laundry? Oh, there's the box cutter again. And those have to do with kind of building a new life and a new set of habits post-loss. And well, can I just put one of those? Is this a Tower of Hanoi type? Did I just mess up? Reset. It is. I bet you this is like the Tower of Hanoi and I need to move things from one side to the other. I'll look at that in a second. Here I need to make a phone call to somewhere. And so one of the things that we need to do immediately following a loss is we need to develop new habits. And it makes sense. Whoa, I can go all the way into the darkness this time. That is not something I could do at any other point. It would stop me. And so it makes sense that our mind would engage the part of the brain that is associated with the development of new habits. And that's exactly what is happening. Okay, which of these boxes can I cut open? That is none of them. Okay. That is what is happening when we are in that acute phase of grieving. The basal ganglia is kicking in, but because there is that competitive process between the basal ganglia and the medial temporal lobe that's doing all of this problem solving and advanced planning and all of that, and therefore the prefrontal cortex, you see this difficulty with problem solving. So now can I jump? Okay. Okay, I can't move things back. I can only move things forward. So...
This one took me a while too. Not because I didn't understand
Okay.
what I need to do, but I just figure it out.
Okay. See, in a typical Tower of Hanoi type situation, you would be able to move backwards in a way that you can't here, and you can't jump more than one. So... So, like, the moment I have to make this choice here, right, like, of who to move,
what Tower of Hanoi is. So.
Oh, the Tower of Hanoi is a logic puzzle that has you trying to move between, you have 3 rings, and 2 of them are full, or you need to get all of your basically donut-shaped things from one side to the other, and you can only move one at a time. You cannot put, they're each of different size, so you have the largest on the bottom, and then a smaller than that, smaller than that, smaller than that, with the smallest on top. You can only move one at a time, and you cannot put a larger donut on top of a smaller donut, but you have to get them all moved over in size order. But in the Tower of Hanoi, you can move backwards. Whereas here, I can't move backwards. And so the inability to move backwards, while also only being able to move one at a time, adds an additional challenge to this puzzle that makes it, and I think they probably did that. Okay, what is that for? They probably did that. It's not for anything here. I didn't think I had anything else I could click. Because the Tower of Hanoi is something that people, oh, I already got something over there, that people readily know how to solve already. And so they probably created something that is like the Tower of Hanoi, but is not the Tower of Hanoi, because otherwise everybody would already know the solution. And, oh, can I use the box cutter to open this? Yeah. And I found another puzzle. I want to get this thing here down to here. Yes, puzzles, it is a puzzle game. So it makes sense that it's puzzles all the way down. So I want to move. I can drag these. Okay. My objective here, I can't move from side to side. The objective of the game, you're just reconstructing somebody's memories, is pretty much what I've gotten in terms of the objective of this game. This puzzle looks hard, you mean? Yeah, right now I'm just messing around with all of the different states that I can put it in, assuming that if I leave and come back, it will reset. Hoping that if I leave and come back, it will reset, because I was just messing with it quite a bit. Yeah, nope, it did not reset. Oh no. Because I just messed up the puzzle royally, because I was just experimenting. But what?
You can still fix it.
Yes, I have to still fix it. There's not really much of a choice in that matter. Yeah, got it. Now I have square, triangle. Didn't I have a set of shapes somewhere?
You did.
I do have a set of shapes somewhere. So I still need circle, circle, square. So I still need other things. That was stressful to watch. I'm so sorry about that. I didn't mean to be stressful. It was stressful to watch me messing around with the puzzle. Is that what you mean? And then let's go... Is this where I came? Yeah, I'm sorry. That's the flower that we grew. I don't think there's anything else to do out here. Let's go back inside. What I don't know is where I'm supposed to put these shapes. I haven't really identified someplace, so I came through here, right? I've got the darkness over here. I can't click on the bike at all. Or the water. And this is for a phone number. I don't think there's anywhere where I would put this on here. It's not really a phone number, it would be a code. Wait, how many digits? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 digit code. Oh look, a 6 digit code. 131215. Cool. We've got the lights on. Excellent. So that we can not be able to get in a door. Cool. Cool, you know. So that we can want to get in a door, but not be able to get in said door. I will. But I want to also go dig in the dirt first. Yes, and because there was a whole bunch of dirt that we couldn't do something with earlier, and it frustrated me. So yeah, and so as we're talking about that, so... Yes, this big patch of dirt right here that I'm going to dig in.
I've just... Dirt.
And so here we are sort of engaging... Okay, I can't move the center, but I can move the outside. Excellent. Oops, the center moves. Did I accidentally click the center, or does it...
No, it's not moving the center.
As I move the outer one, it moves the inner ones. So I need to get the outer one lined up first. So I have to figure out where I want the outer one to line up. Because I can move inner ones without moving outer ones, but I can't move outer ones without moving inner ones.
This is great.
Yep.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up as many of these and then figure out, okay, where do I need this to line up? I need this to be where the Oreo-looking cookie is. So let's put the Oreo-looking cookie there.
And you want a circle.
I did get a circle. And I bet you that has something to do with the other door that was in there.
Yes. Yes. Yes, it does.
Because... I'm killing you, aren't I? So yeah, so... As we were talking about with the functioning, right, it makes sense that we would engage our implicit system. Oh wait, why are we back in here?
Why are you guys...
Square, circle, triangle. Why am I back in there? Because I'm getting lost, is the answer. Is because I can't remember which door brings me to which place anymore. And so, yeah, there's too many doors. There's too many doors. And so, yeah. And in terms of what sort of support someone would need... Oh, it's right there. What sort of support that one would need... You would want support during that acute phase, right? If you're a friend. Oh, and then it's square, circle, triangle, circle, square. You would want to support with the development of new healthy habits. Because you're developing new habits during that time period. Right? The time period in the immediate acute phase. That's that area, right? The basal ganglia is the... Oh, no. Oh, no. I need to stop talking about the basal ganglia for just a second. She really wants to find his medicine, but honey, I don't think the medicine is gonna do what we need it to do. I'm gonna make a mess though searching for it. And I'm okay with that. Just destroy everything to find the medicine.
Why do you find the medicine?
Because he is sick, and he has medicine. He's sick. Why does he look like an owl? Because he's an owl. He is our owl man, and we're gonna give him medicine, but the medicine's only kind of helping at this point. Oh. Kitty, have we reached the end of the game? Kitty. Have we reached the end of the game?
This is the end, yeah.
This is the end. So I just want to...
I think so.
I just want to finish something up. It is during this time period that really the support that is needed from family and friends is to develop new healthy habits, because with the basal ganglia on overdrive, we are developing new habits, right? And that's good. We're going to need new habits as we go through and process those loss-related stressors, and as we process those restoration-related stressors. But restoration is kind of the next phase. And this can last long or short term, again, according to this particular theory. But we do see that reduction in activity of the basal ganglia during the acute phase, which is why so many people report that feeling of going through the motions, right? And then longer term, we see a re-engagement of the medial temporal and a re-engagement of the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. And what dorsolateral means, it means towards the top of the head and towards the sides. That's all that means, is it's telling us the location in the prefrontal cortex. And the prefrontal cortex is that stuff right by your forehead, right? And they come back into balance. And for the vast majority of people, that happens naturally. And it happens, it doesn't have to take a huge amount of time. It doesn't have to take this huge emotional turmoil going along with it. These are processes that are going to happen as we re-engage. Oh no. Oh no. Well, every time we grab a feather, we end a chapter. And if you notice, she's not very happy about taking this one. He's been sick, and he's been getting sicker. And we know from the beginning of the game that he died, because at the very beginning of the game, we are in a graveyard. And so this is kind of our memories, and is somewhat probably why the game is called When the Past Was Around, is sort of her going through her memories, and potentially now coming back to a place that she ransacked for his medicine, and having to pick up the pieces, because we wear black when we're in mourning, when we're sad that somebody has died. And it looks like that somebody is maybe in a cage because they're our pet. I was of the impression that owl person was our partner because of we're having tea and coffee together, but now she's at a cage. An actual cage? Okay.
Oh, right. There's this chapter, but he does die. That's his death.
That was his death, right?
Mhm.
So there is a final chapter. We have been here before. This is a cafe that we've been at before. That I'm now just going to look through everything since we can. There's paint and paint rollers. Yeah. I can open and close. Yeah, I can't. Oh, there we go. There's a music note in that box.
Why do you need music?
Because the whole point of this, yeah, and music has been guiding us all around. Oh, look, I got an achievement for opening all the windows. Basically, if you do all the things, sometimes you get an achievement for it. But I'm gonna go see him now. See, and he's playing the music. And every step of the way, we've gone through these magic doors.
Why is there a light?
I can't seem to muse the music note, though. I was hoping maybe I could use it with the violin. I don't know why there's a rock. So I don't have an answer to that.
All I know is he's been sitting on a rock in every one of the Sarah.
And now we've
Destroy the sand.
destroyed elements of our past. I didn't want to destroy that sandcastle. I built it, but you know what? I'm mad.
You built that one.
And I suspect I get an achievement for doing so. And rage goes back to, actually, people would say, of course you're mad, you're grieving, and this is one of the stages of grief that you absolutely go through, and it's not. Many people go through grief without ever experiencing anger as part of their grief response. And so I think that that's important to... There we go. Did we get it? There's the music note. And we've recolorized this memory, which is fantastic, which is, I think, what our goal was.
And you also got a music.
That's right. And there's a rock again. There's that rock again.
There's a rock whenever there's a cage, and
Did you just say there's a rock whenever there's a cage? Or wherever there was a cage?
yeah, there was a cage up whenever the owl.
Whenever the owl moves. That makes sense.
No, whenever like the memory goes away.
Right, and now we've got rocks instead of cages. Let's defeat all of the plants. I will defeat every plant there is.
Break all the pots, shatter.
So
There was a rock in every single one of those cages.
why? Yes, there were. You're right. There were rocks inside.
And the
Why did I
cages-
get an achievement for breaking all of the pots, but not for destroying all of the sandcastles? Which makes me think
And-
that I missed a sandcastle somewhere. I'm being a completionist. You think I should stop, right? I should probably stop being a completionist and just go through.
Maybe there's only some achievements.
And because this video is actually probably pretty long, so I should
Audio
finish it out.
See?
Yeah, the
The
rock
way
has
my brain
back
thinks
a
of
little.
it, I kind of think the rock of like owl's ashes, but in a different form.
Mhm.
That's how I think of them.
I'm glad. Thank you. Oh wait, I forgot to grab the feather. I do need the feathers, so here's another one. And here I am by the cage.
See the rocks in the cage.
I see. And I can give the feathers and rebuild them so that we can see it. Right, and this is rebuilding the memory of a loved one is actually one of the things that grief work focuses on, is rebuilding the memory and re-engaging or re-establishing the relationship with the loved one post-death. And in fact, some of the more modern theories of grief and the more modern theories of typical bereavement tie into attachment style and tie into that change in attachment that occurs when someone who was present dies, and how our attachment to that person and how our relation to that person shifts, and how our relationships with the rest of the world shifts as a result. And so this reestablishing and revisiting relationship actually kind of makes sense in the context of grief. But now we've got... This is not owl-shaved. Here I am, I'm older, playing the music again. I must have gotten a new violin. They handed us a new violin, because we destroyed our violin.
Matt,
What was that?
got mad at the violin.
Yeah, we got mad at the violin. Again, the assumption that anger needs to be a part of the grieving response when it doesn't.
We threw the violin for.
Yeah, we threw the violin on the... You want me to click them all really fast? I'm listening to the music, though, so it was very pretty.
I can't hear it, so.
You can't hear it, so therefore, we should just click them all really fast. Better? We still are finishing.
Supposed to be.
I actually think what we're supposed to do is listen to the music. We can click them.
It's extra though.
Every time I click some of them, though, they sound like something being destroyed. So some of them sound like destruction. And other of them, basically the 16th notes sound like destruction. Or maybe it's the first one I click of any given set. Yes, I know, we just did something.
Break the cage. Destruction. Break
No,
the
it's
cage.
not destruction.
No, the destruction.
But there isn't...
The cage went away.
Oh, maybe the destruction sound was breaking the cage. Maybe.
See, it is an app.
And there's our owl man again.
Yeah.
Here to maybe help comfort us. Maybe it's our memory. And again, that reestablishment of attachment, perhaps. Oh, this is such beautiful music. I believe so. It's a relatively short game. No, right now we're just gonna watch the ending scene. I'm not gonna click on anything until it prompts me to. I don't know. Right now I think we're just watching a cutscene. Yeah. See, and now we're walking together. I don't think we can go this way, but we are walking together. Trying to figure out what this is representative of, but I don't know what's gonna happen when we click this door. So I honestly wouldn't be able to tell you. But we were in a graveyard, so this person definitely did pass, rather than it being us processing grief, thinking that they were going to. Did we die too? Well, I'm not going to click those bubbles, because I like that we're both playing together. We are much older in this, so is this after we've lived a long life following... Right, like, is this after living a long life following? Yeah, Red Fighter said that's what I was thinking too. I find myself wondering if this is after we've lived a long life following their passing. And now we're together again? What do you think, Kitty?
Yeah, I kind of think that.
Right, because we are significantly older now.
Yeah. And we have to...
I don't intend to click those notes. I don't think there's any reason to add the pizzicato to it. It's when you're playing a violin and you pluck the string instead of using the bow to play the string. So you know how with a guitar, you of course you pluck the string. When you do it with when you're playing a violin, it's called pizzicato. Unless I'm very much forgetting my violin. But almost certain that that's... What was that? Well, what's been happening the whole rest of the time is that it's been making a pizzicato type sound. And I don't want to add that into the middle of the song at this point. So I do want to kind of sum things up, though, as we're listening to the music, that what we've been talking about throughout this series of 3 videos is kind of the misperceptions that exist with regards to typical bereavement, the fact that the majority of people, if there was a survey done, and I don't think I actually covered this, that the majority of people think that typical bereavement is those 5 stages of grief. That if you do surveys and ask folks about what normal bereavement is, they're going to tell you about stages of grief. They're going to tell you about having to work through your grief. And there's a catch-22 that those who are grieving, typically who don't go through the stages, who don't experience those emotions, who don't have to quote-unquote work through their grief in any sort of structured way, that they may feel like they have to. Not like they have to for themselves, but like they need to in order to conform with societal expectations and then try to get their emotions to fit into a set of responses that isn't actually theirs. And that can lead to mental health
Owl
difficulties.
just disappeared.
And he just
Owl
difficulty.
just went poop.
So definitely, we all just noticed that the owl guy disappeared. And so maybe that was just us reconciling with our memory of him, and we were getting joy out of playing our violin again, thinking about him and having our memories, but being okay with it, which is what we typically see. Like the typical grief response is that people are sad, right? And that when we talked about kind of what the brain is doing and what mentally we're doing, and that people are sad and maybe are having trouble with some forms of cognitive functioning, like advanced problem solving and all of those, and can really use assistance. If you know somebody who's grieving, who's having difficulty with those sorts of things, the type of assistance to provide would be things like helping them plan. You have all sorts of things that you have to plan when somebody dies, like a funeral and all of the details of that, and helping them with day-to-day life things. Like, it's one of the wonderful things about why people will cook meals for somebody who just experienced a loss. And that's great, because that is something where then you don't have to worry about those things, and it's nice to do that. But also helping people establish new, healthy habits, because the area of the brain that's really kicking into overdrive, right, the part of the brain that's involved in executive control and problem solving and all of that, it's not really engaged at that point. But what's kicking into overdrive is the one that gives us new habits and allows us to use our old habits. And so allowing people and working with people to help them in terms of their hard problem solving stuff, okay, helping them with that and being understanding of that, but also helping them to develop healthy new habits instead of unhealthy ones, because that area of the brain is really learning at that time period. And that's all stuff that we can do by helping our friends and our loved ones and actually being there for them. And those are good ways to be there for them, rather than becoming uncomfortable and kind of pushing them away. That's a way to help engage with them and know what to do. And they don't need therapy. The vast majority of people don't need therapy or to go to a professional to work through it. I mentioned before that only about 10 to 20% do, more closer to 10 in most of the research. And that's on par with the number of people who need therapy for major depression, right? That's right around that same number, just to give it perspective. And so we don't want to create that catch-22 where people who are grieving try to force their emotions to fit at people's expectations only to have it make things worse, right? And so that's kind of an important bit that we talked about. And we talked about some of the new theories, including that dual process model that talks about how we've got these unique 2 types of stressors, both those associated with coping with the loss, but also then restoring our relationships with self and others and the world and with the person we lost. And those attachment-based theories, and I don't think I mentioned that those attachment-based theories are by a researcher, Niemeyer et al., who was looking at how we change the way that we attach to others. And then most of the research that I've been talking about when it comes to the basal ganglia and executive functioning and the prefrontal cortex, that's Beck's Robert and Deso, I think is the name, from 2023, that was looking at those neurocognitive processes. So yeah, that sums up.
Did you on purposely choose that game to talk about this, because it's kind of like the thing that you talk talking about?
That is a wonderful question. So, folks probably can't hear, but we've got Gamer Bear over here who asked if I purposely chose this game to talk about this topic because it's so related. And it actually is the other way around. CatsMeow wanted to play this game, and so gave me a general sense of that there was going to be, that one of the early scenes was in a graveyard and that it had to do with grief. And so I did some research on actual typical grief because I knew that those stage-based theories really didn't have research behind them. So I did some research on what we do know in the field of grief and grieving so that we could talk about it. So yeah, and that's going to be the end of this YouTube video. So thank you all very much for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, good on ya. And for those of you who are here watching the Twitch stream, this is also going to be the end of the stream. So thank you very much for coming and for chatting. And I will see y'all later. Take care.